In the blinding brilliance of the Greek pantheon, a shadow loomed over the realm of Cronos. The gods and titans, once in harmony, now lived in a state of tension and disorder. Cronos, the titan who ruled with an iron fist, paced back and forth on his throne, his expression marked by restlessness. The prophecy whispered in his mind, a terrifying echo telling him that one of his children would dethrone him. In a fit of despair, he made a dark pact with the darkness, deciding to devour each child at birth. "I will not be defeated," he roared, his voice reverberating off the temple walls. "No one can challenge me." With a brutal movement, he lunged at his wife, Rhea, who watched the horrific scene with tears in her eyes. The lament of their children echoed in his mind, each scream a reminder of the helplessness he felt. "Cronos, please, don't do this," Rhea implored, her voice trembling. "They are our children. They don't deserve this fate." But her pleas fell on deaf ears, for Cronos's greed and fear were stronger than any love. Determined to change the course of that tragedy, Rhea sought the help of Gaia, Mother Earth. In a deep and comforting whisper, Gaia offered her a plan. "Deceive him, my daughter. Make him believe that the last child, Zeus, is just a stone." With a heavy heart, Rhea accepted Gaia's counsel. When the day of Zeus's birth arrived, Rhea hid in a cave on the distant island of Crete. There, as the waves crashed against the rocks, she gave birth to her last child. With trembling hands, she wrapped the stone in baby clothes and, with a mix of hope and despair, took it to Cronos. "Look, my love, a beautiful son," Rhea said, trying to hide the pain in her voice. Cronos, without hesitation, took the stone in his arms and, in a brutal gesture, devoured it. "Finally, I am free of this burden," he exclaimed, unaware that true freedom was about to be born in the darkness. With Cronos deceived, Rhea entrusted Zeus to caretakers, benevolent nymphs who would raise him in secret. They would safeguard the future of the young titan while the kingdom remained under Cronos's tyrannical rule. And the prophecy drew ever closer, ready to be fulfilled in an epic battle that would change the fate of all. On the tranquil island of Crete, the sun filtered through the green leaves of the trees, illuminating Zeus's secret home. He, now a strong and fearless young man, ran through the forests, his laughter echoing like music among the nymphs surrounding him. These magical creatures fed him ambrosia, the nectar of the gods, ensuring that his strength and courage grew with each passing day. Amidst the play and laughter, Zeus listened intently to the stories the nymphs told about his siblings, trapped in the darkness of Cronos's belly. "Zeus, you are our hero," exclaimed one of the nymphs, her eyes shining with admiration. "You will free your siblings and defeat Cronos, won't you?" "Yes," replied Zeus, determination burning in his heart. "But I need to know more. What happened to them? How can I rescue them?" The nymphs exchanged glances, understanding the depth of Zeus's desire. One of them, older and wiser, began to tell. "They are there, lost and forgotten, waiting for someone with the courage to face the tyrant. But the prophecy states that a child of Cronos will challenge him and restore order. You are that child, Zeus." Her words resonated in Zeus's mind as he pondered his destiny. In his quest for answers, he decided he needed to consult an oracle. He embarked on a solitary journey, facing dangers and trials, until he found a sacred cave where the voice of destiny echoed. "Who dares to seek the truth?" the oracle's voice asked, sounding like distant thunder. "I am Zeus, son of Cronos," he replied firmly, his voice resonating off the cave walls. "I come seeking knowledge about my future and my siblings. You must confront your father, but not just with strength. The key to your victory lies in the unity of your family," revealed the oracle, its words laden with wisdom and mystery. "Only when you and your siblings are together will true strength be revealed." With those words etched in his soul, Zeus returned to Crete, determined to free his siblings. He knew the hour of battle was approaching. Gathering with Hermes, the swift messenger, he began to devise a bold plan. "We need a potion, something that will make Cronos vomit my siblings." Only then can they join me in the fight against him, said Zeus, his eyes shining with the flame of determination. I know the necessary ingredients, replied Hermes, his agile mind already formulating what would be needed. We need the essence of ambrosia, a bit of sacred earth, and a touch of your own power. Then let's get started, said Zeus, his voice firm. He understood that the moment of liberation was near, and each step he took was a step toward his true identity and the destiny that awaited him. Zeus faced Cronos, the titan who had devoured his siblings, with a determined gaze and a mixture of anger and courage. The marble hall, once imposing, now seemed oppressive under the shadow of his tyrannical father. Cronos, seated on his throne, let out a deep laugh upon seeing the young titan. What do you think you can do, boy? You are nothing but a lost child in a world of titans. With the magic potion in hand, Zeus replied firmly, I am no longer the baby you devoured. I am Zeus, and today is the day you will face the consequences of your actions. With a swift movement, he threw the liquid onto Cronos, who immediately began to writhe in agony. What is this? Shouted the titan as visions of his children began to invade his mind. The scene unfolded like a terrifying spectacle. Cronos, in a state of despair, began to vomit, and with that, a series of human forms started to emerge from his mouth. Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon, all weak and confused, fell to the ground. Zeus approached them, his heart pounding. Siblings, you are all safe now. We are together again. Hades, still recovering, looked around, recognizing the place that had been his home. Where are we, Zeus? What happened? Demeter, with tears in her eyes, slowly rose. We were trapped. What did you do? Zeus stood tall, feeling the unity of the family forming again. I used the potion that Hermes and I created. Cronos is no longer a threat, but we must unite to face what comes next. He is not the only one we must fear. The siblings began to rise, strength and determination renewed in their eyes. What will we do now? Asked Hera, with a determined look. Zeus took a deep breath and, with a raised voice, declared, We will restore order to the world and face the Titans. This war is not just for our freedom, but for all beings who have suffered under Cronos' rule. The siblings exchanged firm glances, feeling each one's strength unite with all. We are with you, Zeus, said Poseidon, a glimmer of hope in his voice. We are ready to fight. The determination in the air was palpable, as if even the walls of the hall reverberated with the energy of their unity. With a powerful call, Zeus raised his arm, as if invoking the gods and the winds to his favor. The Titanomachy begins now. It is time to restore what is ours. The siblings, invigorated by Zeus's passion, prepared for the battle ahead, ready to confront the dark legacy of their father and claim their place in the cosmos. The sun rose over the battlefield, casting its golden rays over the devastation that spread before the eyes of the Titans and the gods. The atmosphere was charged with tension, and the echo of screams and crashes resonated like an ancestral lament. Zeus, with determination burning in his chest, wielded his lightning bolt, which shone brightly, reflecting the fury and hope of his mission. Beside him, Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Poseidon, and Hades prepared for battle, each with their own abilities, ready to face the Titans who still dominated the world. Fight like never before. Today, freedom is our destiny, shouted Zeus, his voice resonating like thunder. The siblings, rejuvenated by Zeus's command, advanced in unison, facing the stone giants that were once their progenitors. Oceanus, one of the most imposing titans, stood before them, his colossal figure casting a shadow over the gods. Do you think you can defeat us? I am the Lord of the waters, and you are mere puppets. He laughed, the deep sound reverberating across the field. We are no longer puppets, Oceanus, replied Poseidon, brandishing his trident. Today, we are the masters of our destiny. And with that, he launched a precise strike, the waters of the sea churning with his power. As the battle continued, a group of Cyclopes emerged from the depths of the fight, freed from Cronos' grasp. With shining eyes and colossal strength, they joined Zeus. "We stand with you, Lord Zeus. We will provide weapons that will shake the very titans." The leader of the Cyclopes, Brontes, raised a hammer forged with the essence of thunder itself. "Let's unite our forces," exclaimed Hades, advancing alongside the Cyclopes. "Whether in shadows or light, together we are invincible." The gods and the Cyclopes attacked in perfect sync, and the energies collided like storms, creating a spectacle of light and destruction. Zeus, in an agile move, channeled the energy of the sky and launched a lightning bolt directly at Oceanus, who screamed in pain as he was struck. "For every tear we shed for our freedom, we will pay with the strength of our hearts," Zeus roared as the battle intensified. The cost of war, however, began to become evident. The ground trembled with the impacts, and cries of pain mingled with the roar of combat. Every blow struck, every spell cast had its consequences, and the field was turning into a graveyard of shattered hopes and dreams. Zeus's brothers, weary yet determined, fought bravely, and with each victory, their unity grew stronger. But amid the chaos, the shadow of doubt began to loom over the heart of each one. After all, war never comes without its price, and the echoes of future losses whispered in their ears. The battle finally came to an end, and silence hung over the devastated field, where shouts of combat and explosions of titanic power had once echoed. Zeus, with disheveled hair and a tired expression, looked down at the lifeless body of Cronos, who lay defeated at his feet. Beside him, Poseidon and Hades observed the scene, still dazed from the intensity of the fight. "This is it, brothers. The tyranny of Cronos has come to an end," said Zeus, his voice resonating with a mix of relief and exhaustion. Poseidon, still gripping his trident, nodded, his gaze fixed on the father who had now become a prisoner. "But the price was high," murmured Hades with a grim expression. "How many of our allies are gone? And what awaits us now? We must celebrate our victory. It is time to rebuild what has been destroyed," exclaimed Poseidon, his tone filled with fervor. The spirit of battle still burned within him, and he wanted hope to bloom again among them. However, the joy was interrupted by a restless movement among the captured titans. Atlas, the strongest among them, lifted his head, his deep voice echoing among the brothers. "You condemned me to carry the sky. You know that this is not true victory, not while there is one among us who desires the power of the stars." Zeus stared at Atlas, frustration spreading across his face. "You don't understand, Atlas. We had to act. What do you desire? A reign over ruins?" "I desired freedom, but you are no different from Cronos. Freedom is an illusory concept when you live in the shadow of fear and betrayal," Atlas replied, his gaze defiant. Atlas's words echoed in the minds of Zeus and his brothers. Although their victory over Cronos had been decisive, true peace still seemed distant. "We must unite our forces, not only against the Titans, but also against the doubts that haunt us," proposed Zeus, his determination renewed. "If freedom is what we seek, we must learn to trust one another." As the brothers discussed, a murmur of mistrust began to spread among them. Hades crossed his arms, his expression laden with uncertainty. "And if betrayal is already among us, how can we be sure we won't be deceived again?" The faces of his brothers grew somber, and the atmosphere of celebration was replaced by a climate of tension. The shadows of the imprisoned Titans seemed to stretch even further, and the battle that had ended left a new struggle in its wake. "We need to find the truth," said Zeus, his voice firm but filled with concern. "The freedom we have gained cannot be tainted by distrust between us. Therefore, let us gather and openly discuss our concerns." The brothers nodded, and despite the tension, there was a spark of hope. Together, they would have to face not only the echoes of war, but also the challenges that lay ahead. The dawn of a new era was about to emerge, but first, they needed to confront the shadows threatening their newly forged unity. In the great hall that had once been Cronos' throne, the gods gathered in palpable tension. Zeus, with a furrowed brow, looked at his brothers. "The prophecy did not refer only to me," he began, his voice echoing off the marble walls. "Hades, did you not feel the shadow approaching? Betrayal was closer than we thought." Hades' eyes shone with a mix of anger and confusion. "Are you accusing me of being the traitor?" Hades replied, his voice low but loaded with emotion. "I have always been in my brother's shadow, always relegated to the underworld. If I wanted power, I would have taken it by now." Demeter intervened, placing a hand on Zeus's arm. "We need to listen to Hades. He may be just as lost as we are, tormented by his place in the order of things." Zeus took a deep breath, knowing that the battle would not only be physical, but emotional. "If you're not the traitor, then who is? We must unite our forces, but we need the truth. Hades, you have allowed yourself to be consumed by darkness. What do you truly desire?" The tension in the air was almost unbearable. "I want to be seen, Zeus, not as the god of the underworld, but as someone who can have a place beside you. The darkness is not my choice. It is what has been imposed on me." Hades exploded, his voice reverberating like thunder. The brothers fell silent, surprised by the vulnerability that shone through the eyes of the god of death. "If you join us, we can face any threat together," Zeus said, extending his hand. "True strength comes from unity. Set aside your ambitions. Let's fight side by side." Hades hesitated, looking at the outstretched hand, reflecting on his choice. The darkness that accompanied him began to dissipate, and he finally took Zeus's hand, accepting the reconciliation. With unity restored, the brothers felt a new power flowing between them. The final battle against the remnants of Cronos' tyranny and the lingering influence that still hovered over them was about to begin. "We are together, as we always should have been," Demeter said, her voice steady, "protecting our home and our legacy." Zeus, now stronger than ever, looked toward the horizon. "True peace will not come easily, but together, we promise to protect the world of the gods from any threat that may arise." And so, with renewed hope and courage, the brothers prepared to face the future, knowing that the strength of a god lies in family and unity.